Facebook. How are you guys? It is 2020. Holy guacamole. And I am Aimee Raupp of aimeeraupp.com. And so happy to be coming to you with my messy side braid today. How is everyone? Hi. So it's official. It's a new year, which I think can be really pressureful, is that a word, for a lot of people. Like, what am I gonna, I'm doing a castor oil pack as we're talking, so I'm gonna remove it. I'm getting a little hot. I'm about to ovulate. Well, I'm in the midst of ovulating, and the ovulation is feeling a tad intense right now. Probably because it's my first like real official ovulation since my miscarriage. So I'm excited to be back in the groove. And anyway, doing my castor oil pack, practicing what I preach, drinking my liver support juice soup right here. And yeah, let's talk about 2020. So I feel like everybody was like, the decade, it's a new decade. What'd you accomplish in the last decade? And that's fun, I think, to reflect. I think it's awesome to reflect and see how far you've come. But then there's also this thing of like, oh, I didn't do that, and I still haven't done that, and I still have this, and, you know, I'm such a loser, I didn't get that done, or, you know, any of my girls trying to get pregnant, it's like, well, and I still don't have the baby, or, you know, I still don't have the career I wanted, or I still don't have the health I wanted, or I'm still the same weight, and I wanted to be different, right? So it's also a reminder of all the things we're not. And that's not good. That doesn't help us move forward the way we want to and the way we deserve to. And it's not very loving and kind to ourselves. So, you know, and it's also then you go and you read through what everybody else accomplished in the last decade and you're like, my God, you know, I didn't do half of that stuff. So does that make me worse? Does that make them better, right? It's this constant comparison, which comparison is the root of all suffering. I believe Buddha said that. And so what is my intention for all of you and for myself for 2020? It is women who heal themselves, heal their children's children and beyond. They heal every relationship in their lives. So I just want you, just what my Instagram post the other night. I want you to take care of you. I want you to honor you. I want you to be kind to you. I want you to follow your heart and your beat of your drum. Yes, we all have obligations, we have lives, we have jobs, we got to show up for them, even if they don't necessarily light our fire, right? But how can you do it in your light? How can you do it in a way that feels good to you? How can you do it in a way that feels like you're honoring a part of yourself? It's really the heart of everything I do, right? It's like, all that, it is true, you know. People always say like, oh, you know, you help women get pregnant, right? Oh, you're the girl that helps women get pregnant. I'm like, yeah, it's more than that though. I really just help women take better care of themselves, and when the pieces fall into place, their fertility, if they're still menstruating, ovulating, falls into place too. That's really how I see it. You know, there is no special fertility diet. There are no special things. It is a longevity and vitality plan, if you will, because as we age, things do decline in our body. And so if we take care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically, and nutritionally, guess what? We'll age more appropriately, and still, for women who are trying to conceive, still be able to get pregnant, you know, years past when they're told that they can't, or that they, you know, are too old to get pregnant. So, you know, I've seen it all, but really my main mission in life and my main intention for you and for myself this year is just taking better care of myself. That's my intention. Honoring me, putting me first before everyone else, including my child, including my relationships, including my job. You know, does it light me up or not? I want to do more of what excites me and less of what I don't like to do. I have an awesome giveaway for you guys too that I'll tell you about in just a little bit, but it's basically, well, I can tell you about it right now too. It's fine. It's basically about setting intentions. It's a health intention setting worksheet and video. It's free. I'll give you the login or the opt-in in just a few, but really nice. So, you know, let's break down like what is an intention. It's just a statement, an affirmation of something you would like more of in your life. And one thing I think about a lot when I talk about the things I want more of is it has to feel realistic to me. It has to feel doable. So my spiritual teacher, Abraham, would say, for instance, if you're $100,000 in debt, manifesting $2 million might feel really far-fetched for you. However, if you're $100,000 in debt, just manifesting like, okay, I'd like to be at half that or a third of that by the end of the year. That feels really feasible. That feels really doable. You can sit, you can look at the numbers, you can say, okay, I can put this towards that every month and still have, you know, and I'll feel really good about that, right? And then celebrate the wins. And the more you celebrate the wins and focus on the abundance coming to you and the ability that you have, the power that you have in all of this, the more that it'll catapult, it'll gain the momentum. But so I think for anybody setting an intention, it's just something, it has to feel reasonable, right? It has to feel doable. I was just in my Facebook group, my Yes You Can Get Pregnant e-course students. And when I came on, I said 2020 is the year of the baby, you know, and I'm manifesting that for myself and for all my girls. That's the intention I'm setting, right? 2020 is the year of the baby. And at the end, I said, but I want to be clear. That could mean that you're 1 month pregnant, you know, at the end of 2020, right? That could mean you got pregnant in December of 2020. So it's not saying that baby's going to be in your arms this year, which I know for women who've been on this path for a while, that's all they want. They're just so desperate and eager. But, you know, to almost have a broader, a softer, more realistic approach, because we can set these intentions that aren't very realistic and then we don't meet them. Then we're pissed at ourselves. We spend the time beating ourselves up, and it creates that very vicious cycle. And remember, you know, your thoughts dictate your behavior. So if you're beating yourself up, you're not moving the ball forward. I'm doing Gabrielle Bernstein's 21-day manifestation challenge, and today is day 3. And if you guys aren't doing it, you should check it out. I don't know if you can still enroll, but it's cheap, and you know, she's awesome, and I love her. And yeah. And I don't, you know, anyway, I'm enjoying it. But one thing she was talking about today in day 3 is, what are you saying yes to? Like, are you saying yes to the pain, to the suffering, to the challenges, to the debt, to the lack of, or are you saying yes to the changes, positive changes, to things shifting, you being supported, you being cared for, the abundance that surrounds you? What are you saying yes to? Because whatever you're saying yes to is what's showing up in your life. And Abraham, who is a big teacher of both mine and Gabby's, says you might be screaming no at something, like, no, I don't want any more debt. No, I don't want this weight on me. No, I hate my whatever, my body because it keeps failing me and whatever it is. No, no, no. But when you're screaming no like that so intently, you are hyper focused on it and you are actually calling more of it in. So instead, what we need to do is release the resistance we have, accept where we are. You are where you are. It is what it is. The only way to get through it is to accept it. And so be really honest with yourself. Okay, this is where I'm at. What is a realistic jump point for me? What feels good? And not to say, you know, Abraham always says too, I'll quote her a lot, probably always, I think I always do, a button or a castle. You can make either one. It's very simple, but we just think a button is a lot easier to manifest because they're cheap and they're just everywhere. And castles, we think, are just require a lot of money, a lot of work. You got to find like the special place. They're only in Ireland, you know, whatever it is, Scotland. You know, we've created this like huge thing around a castle. So we don't think creating a castle is super easy. So therefore it's never going to be easy for us, right? So when I say make your manifestations realistic, I'm not saying that you can't manifest big, awesome, major shifts in your life. You totally can, but they gotta feel doable to you. Does that make sense? Yeah, Deirdre, what you resist persists, right? That is the old adage, and it's completely true. And so how loudly are you screaming no at the thing you don't want? And rather, can you just say, yes, this thing is here. I don't really like it. However, it could shift if I stick to this or this or this, or, you know, one of Gabby, I think yesterday was Gabby's thing was when the negative thoughts, when you get caught in that loop of, you just kind of stop yourself and say, I choose to see peace instead of this. So adjust, shifting yourself out of the lack cycle, what you don't have, what isn't working, how angry you are, the grief that you're in, and rather say, okay, this is where I'm at right now. Like one of my girls in my group earlier said, I'm in that space where when I see pregnant women, I'm angry again and I'm starting to feel depressed. Like, give me some affirmations to shift out of it. And I didn't give her any affirmations to shift out of it. And instead I told her to just be with it. Right now you're angry and you're sad, and that's okay. So let's just accept it. And also remind yourself, I've been here before and I've gotten through it, so I can again, right? So these affirmations, sometimes we scream them so loud, but the universe knows how you feel, not what you say. So that's why I'm talking about with these intentions. I want this to feel doable and believable to you. Doable and believable. So what is it you want for your 2020? I can't answer that for you, but I think a lot of people always want, financial shifts, career shifts, family shifts, health shifts, weight shifts, right? So what feels realistic to you? And my team and I, we did an exercise that my friend Claudia Chan told me about, of writing, what's your 2020 dream job description? I think I have mine right here. And so I took it as, and I wrote out, because I have a job. Like, this is one of my favorite parts of my job, is coming to you guys every week. I love it. I love connecting with my community. I love talking to my computer and my phone. I love jiving, or what's the word? Just being on my soapbox, I guess. I really enjoy that. I really enjoy reaching the masses and inspiring and empowering and reminding everyone how fucking awesome you are. I really enjoy that part. Like, that's like definitely one of the favorite parts of my job. And so, so Claudia said, I encourage you and your team, like, have everybody write their dream 2020 job description. And it's a really good way to like move the momentum forward, rather than like us having a team call and I'm like, and you're not doing this right and you're doing that wrong. Like, we have those things of like, okay, these are some things we could all get better at. However, I want to know, like, where does your passion lie? So how can I better support you? Because if you're doing something you're passionate about, it's going to reflect really amazingly on my business, right? So I want the people who work for me to really love what they do. And I want that to show, right? And I believe it does. And I want to continue to do what I love. And yeah, I'm in a different position than I know a lot of people. The entrepreneurial life is not easy, though. It is a constant hustle. So the grass may always look greener, but I still have jobs I have to show up for, and responsibilities, and a mortgage to pay, and, all the things. I have all that. But so my favorite part of my job, creating content, connecting socially. So doing this, inspiring, uplifting through storytelling, through anecdotes, being on a team, being a leader, speaking publicly, being part of a think tank. So I've had the honor of being part of The Well, which is a wellness center in New York City. And really, really just cool, awesome space. It's thewell.com. Check it out. And part of a think tank there. I'm with all these other practitioners who are just on their A game as well, and that I was chosen as the head of Chinese medicine, the one who's on her A game in Chinese medicine. And that's an honor. It's the first salary I've ever made in my life. That's really cool to just get paid weekly. That's amazing. No matter what, I've only just made what I earn. If I don't work, I don't earn. That's been my life for a very long time. And so it's cool. It's cool to earn. It's cool to be part of a think tank. It's cool to just be around other practitioners and to I'm curating and creating content for this space. And it's really, really exciting to me. I love earning money. I do. And I think we're all allowed to say that. I think some people think that we can't say that, but we can. I really love earning money because it allows me to support my family. It allows me to grow my business and reach more of you. It allows me some downtime to actually think and create, which is my favorite part. What do you guys need more of? And how can I help you? How can I better serve you? I love paying my team. I love being able to support them on their livelihood and their life and their dreams. So I love earning money. I really do. I love being able to pay for my kid to go to an awesome daycare, or whatever, preschool, sorry. I love to be able to take trips, right? So I love that stuff. And I think we all are allowed to love earning and not feel guilty about it. I love providing for my family. And I love personally, so this is my intention for you guys, and you guys can jump off of some of that stuff. And then the health intentions worksheet that I have for you, which you can find at Instagram. The link is in the bio, I'm assuming, but Facebook, we're going to post the link, but it's aimeeraupp.com/healing intentions. Is that it? Now I'm going to forget what it is. I think it's, Beth, I'm going to let you post it. I think it's aimeeraupp.com/healing or health intentions. Health intentions. Let me see if Beth said anything. But so my intention for you guys, and then I'm going to let you go and take the health intentions to a new level. But first, let me see. I was feeling that way too, but then I reminded myself that I do not know her story. I don't know the pain and the turmoil she went through to get pregnant. So I better bliss that belly and bliss that woman. That's what I always say too. I mean, going back to that story of the one woman in my group earlier who said she's in that funk about looking at pregnant women and feeling angry. I think the quickest way to turn it around is just to remind yourself you have no idea her story. And also, I love this side too, that one day that is going to be you walking down the street, and there is going to be a woman who's currently in your shoes, who's in pain and suffering, and she's going to see you. And she might be angry at you. You know, how does that, like, think about that, like really put it all in perspective. Because that anger that you feel is basically because you're in a space of not believing it's doable for you. So you feel left out. But you don't always believe that, right? So I agree, Deirdre. We don't know her story. We never know stories. It's aimeeraupp.com/intention setting. I wrote it down and then I can't find my piece of paper. But so go there, and that's for health intentions, but you can use it for anything. But also I think use that dream job description that I just went through too, of like, what do you currently love about your job? What do you want to do more of? And what do you know, for me, I don't, work-wise, I don't need to manifest anything necessarily new. I just want to continue to reach and serve more people. That's really my goal for 2020. And so to figure out, like, for me, that feels really doable and easy because I'm gaining momentum every year, and that's awesome. And, to be able to continue to support my family, which feels really powerful and amazing, and to feel good about the money I'm earning, and to be able to give back more. I don't give back as much as I want to give back. I give back, I think, energetically, but I mean financially, to like a charity or something like that. So I have some things for me, but I want you to think about that for you. But my intention for all of you is really that space of you honing in on what lights up your heart. What are your desires, and what's holding you back from them? Is it fear? Is it guilt? Is it not good enough-ness? What are the pieces in there for you? Deirdre, the well looks amazing. It is amazing. Yeah, there's a tutorial. So with the intention setting worksheet, there's a PDF that you can print out, and then there's also a video that goes with it. And it's really special. I love it. So let me see. Anybody have any comments? Just a lot of people watching, which is amazing. Thank you. I love all the watchers. Love all you guys. So I think a good way to think about like what lights me up is like almost that question of, I think Deepak Chopra talks about this in his book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, which is still like a cornerstone in my life. I love that book. Probably read it 100 times. No joke. It's not that big. But he says, how do you figure out what your dharma is, which is your, like, your destiny, your sacred purpose, your spiritual destiny in this world is, if money didn't matter, would you still be doing what you're doing? For a lot of people, the answer is no. But if money didn't matter, what would you be doing? So I think that's another question. And then see if you can, like, if there's a lot of people that are not in the position to just up and leave their jobs, right? We all have responsibilities, and I'm not recommending that because I think it's a little reckless, just like one of my women in my group is fed up with her husband, and and they're going through some stuff, and she's like, I think I might leave him. And I always remind people and myself, the problem with leaving is you take yourself with you. So if you feel like you've done all your work, and you are all good and clear, and you got no anger, no grief, no resentments, you're just very, very solid in who you are, and you want to leave, then you by all means leave. But if you are playing the blame game, if you're angry for something and not forgiving and all these things, it ain't the time to leave. Because the problem with leaving or moving is you take yourself with you. So you gotta work on you. So I think even when it comes to the job situation, like your dream job description, it's like, okay, maybe you can't up and leave your job right now, but what if you could do anything? If money didn't matter, what would you do? And then try to see the characteristics. Like, what does that job entail? What does that work entail? Like, what are some of the highlights? Are you in service? Are you, empowering people? Are you offering education, knowledge? What parts of that job feel good to you? And then are there some characteristics of your current job that you have the ability to do that in, right? So almost bringing the light into your current job and then lighting that up. Where is that? One of my team members was thinking about like letting go of a certain part of her job. And I kind of reminded her of how important she is though in that job, and that she's really curated this really special relationship. And, we depend on her in a sense for that. And she's really good at it. And it shifted, I think, because it's like, yeah, there are certain parts of it that we can take off her plate totally. But like, as far as her leadership in a certain role, she should keep that. And I think just us talking about it, and I think her knowing how much I value it, shifted it for her. So there is, if you have those opportunities too, like especially in a work or a relationship setting where you can talk about like the value added, like what is it we want to intend for this year, like as a family. My husband and I did that, and we're very simple, I suppose. Just that 2019 was better than 2018 for fuck's sure, absolutely. And 2020 is only going to be better, and so I just want us to continue to show up the way we are showing up, and being present and being more in love and taking good care of ourselves, right? That is it. So that is my intention for you, to take better care of yourself this year. And by that, I mean with loving thoughts, with loving actions, loving behaviors, and really tuning into what it is that lights you up. Because from that, as Abraham calls it, inspired action. So it's not about non-action, right? I think the book, like The Secret, is kind of like sit on your couch and you can manifest a Ferrari. That's just so totally not how it works. For the most part, but it's still action. It's just, rather than it feeling like, slug, you got to slog through this, it's inspired action. Oh, that lights me up. That excites me. Because then that inspiration leads you to something else, and then something else, and then something else, right? So to stay in that space. And then to also remember, when it comes to intentions and manifestations, whatever word you want to use, you really only have to be in the groove of feeling good, in the groove of that momentum, like 55, 60, 70% of the time. So you're allowed to have the moments of not feeling great. This is not perfection. You are not suffering in your life because you've lacked something in the manifestation category, because you suck at something. I had a friend who, she's ready for her solid relationship in her life. And then she's transformed so beautifully. As have I. We've been friends a very long time, and it's really cool to watch both of us shift. But so she was telling me this story about, this person, this potential male suitor, and then like all these red flags came up. And so she kind of said to me, why did I attract this into my life? Like, why am I keep calling in these guys with these major red flags? And I was like, yeah, but didn't you see how differently you handled it this time? You actually just kiboshed it right there. You were like, sorry, too many red flags. Like, peace out. Love ya. This isn't what I want. I said, in the past, you would have given it a shot. You would have went in and said, maybe I can be the reason that he changes, right? That whole codependency dance that a lot of us do. And instead she was like, peace out, love you. And I said to her, I look at that as the universe was actually coming in and saying, are we sure? We're just going to double check one last time. Are you certain that you know how worthy you are? Have you really stepped into your power and your worthiness? And it was such a great conversation, because I do think it really shifted that perception for her, which it was like when I broke my engagement 100 years ago to my ex-fiance, I, for years, felt like a failure over it. I really felt like I failed at something major, and I was embarrassed, and I felt sad, and I felt guilty. I felt just terrible. And then one of my first coaches ever it was like 2009, I think. I broke my engagement in 2004. So 5 years later, 5 years, I was walking around feeling guilty and terrible and like I'm a failure at relationships. And mind you, 5 years go by and I'm not really in any relationships because I basically have deemed myself a failure in relationships. And she said, but what about if that was one of the like most successful decisions of your life and of his life? And it was the first time ever that I was able to see the other side. And so I feel like I was able to do that for my friend too, which she's done that for me so many times in the past too, where even when I was going through some marriage challenges, you know, last year, it was like, how did I manifest this? And then now I can see it was, we actually both called each other in to work through this. These were our greatest lessons in life at this point. You know, they're sure to be more. But we were meant to work through it together. You know, we're meant to break some old family ties and old family wounds. And that's really powerful and awesome. So to be able to also see like, you are where you're supposed to be. So we got to accept and we got to set these realistic, like that feels doable to me, intentions and manifestations, and then step into our worthiness that we deserve them. So by you taking good care of you working on healing you can change your life. You move forward. Joe Dispenza says, our emotions are based on our past, and the only way to actually change our future is to change our reaction to our emotions, because we just keep reacting the same way, we keep getting the same results. And so that's kind of how Gabby says it too, like I have the choice to choose again here. I don't have to keep choosing the same path. I can start to see it differently. And so to be able to step back and be like, where am I being hard on myself? How can I shift that conversation? How can I be easier on myself? So check out the Health Intentions worksheet and video, because I think you'll really like it. And you can use it not just for health, you can use it for really any life thing that you want to set your intention for 2020. And just so again, it is aimeeraupp.com/intention setting. Okay. And yeah, check it out. All right, guys, I love you. Happy 2020. I'm going to go do some stuff for me. Ciao. I'll see you next week. Bye. Facebook, let me end you. Bye, guys.